Hello students, welcome back to the second session of the chapter Probability of the 10th Standard. Now in the first video lecture of the probability, we learned the basic definition of the probability. Then we learned few terminology like what is experiment, what is event, what is outcome, what is elementary event, what is sum of all the elementary event, what is sure event, what is unsure or impossible event. That is all thing has been discussed in the previous, or you can say that the very first video lecture of the probability. Now in the second video lecture of the probability, I will be dealing with few more things as well as the very first exercise of your chapter 15, that is 15.1. Now before going to 15.1, let me teach you one more thing, and let us start our lecture by explaining the thing that is called as complementary event. Complementary event. Complementary event. Now, what do you mean by complementary event? Now, suppose I am taking one experiment. I am taking one experiment of tossing a coin. It is the simplest example. That's why I am taking every time this example. That is, what is experiment? Experiment is tossing a coin once. Tossing a coin once. So immediately you can write the sample space. Now what is sample space? It is the total possibility when you toss a coin once. What you'll get? You can get either head or tail. You can get either head or tail. Now if I'm taking event A, if I'm naming event A as getting ahead. So you know how to find out the probability of this event. We can find out P of A, that is probability of event A, is equal to R upon N. R upon N means R is possible outcomes, N is total outcomes. Now see, how many times head is there? 1. And what is the total? N is total possibility. What is the total possibility? 1 and 2, that is 1 by 2. Okay, so probability of getting head that we are getting is equal to 1 by 2. When we are tossing a coin once. Now what is the meaning of complementary event? Now you will be able to understand that if A is getting ahead, its complement event is what? Getting not ahead. So it is represented by either A bar A, or it is also sometimes represented by A dash, A bar or A dash. The meaning of A bar or A dash is called as complementary event of A. Complementary event of A. And how we can judge the probability of this? The probability of P of complementary event A is equal to 1 minus P of A. 1 minus P of A. Now I can explain it in one more example. Yesterday I gave you, or in the very first lecture, I gave you one of the example, that what is the probability that sun rises in the east. Sun rises in the east. So the probability of sun rising in the east direction is 100%, and we are dealing 100% as a 1, right? So if I'll ask you, if the experiment is, what is the name of the experiment? Rising of the sun in the east direction. So what will be its complement? Complement means you have to simply put not. So complementary of this event will be, what is the probability of the sun not rising in the east direction? You tell me, what is the probability of the sun not rising in the east direction? It is 0. Sun cannot rise in any direction other than east. So what is the probability of the sun not rising in the east direction? 0. What is the probability of sun rising in this direction? 1. Are you getting my point? So 1, if you are having 1 as an answer, the complementary of 1 will be 0. Means if it is 100%, its complement is going to be 0%. Simply, if an answer is yes, its complementary will be no. If an answer will be yes, its complementary will be no. So if you are having any event, if you are having answer of any event, like you are having P of A, And if you want to find out its complementary answer, complementary probability, so you have to subtract from the total probability. What is the total probability? It is always equal to 1. From 1, subtract the probability of which you want to find out its complementary. Are you getting my point? So here P of A is getting ahead and A bar is complementary of event A. We can call it as getting not ahead. Getting not ahead. So getting ahead is A. So getting not ahead is represented by A bar or A dash, and that can be calculated, that A bar can be calculated from the entire 100% minus this A. So P of A bar is equal to 1 minus P of A, that is one formula. P of A bar is equal to 1 minus P of A, and you can get one more formula from here. If minus P of A is sent here, so P of A bar plus P of A is going to be 1. P of A bar plus P of A is equal to 1. Now what is the meaning? What is the meaning of this thing? The sum of the event, the sum of the probability of an event and probability of its complementary event is always going to be 1. Again, I am repeating my sentence. The sum of probability of any event and probability of its complementary event is always going to be 1. Always the sum of the probability of any event and the probability of its complementary event is always going to be 1. So if I tell you P of A is equal to 7 by 8, suppose P of A is equal to 7 by 8, can you calculate P of A bar? Can you calculate P of A bar? Yes. You know the formula of P of A bar. P of A bar is equal to 1 minus P of A, and P of A is already given 1 minus 7 by 8. 8 will go here. 8 minus 7 upon 8. LCM, right? 1 and 8 will have the LCM 8. That 8 will be multiplied here. 8 minus 7, 1 by 8. 1 by 8. Similarly, if you are having P of A bar as say 3.3 by 5. Suppose P of A is given as 3 by 5, and if they are asking you to find out P of A bar. P of A bar. Same procedure. P of A bar is going to be equal to 1 minus P of A, that is 1 minus 3 by 5. 5 will be the LCM. So 5 minus 3 by 5. Answer is going to be 2 by 5. 5 ones are 5, 5 minus 3, 2 by 5. So basically this is again 1 mark question, very important question. This kind of question will be there for 1 marks. What is that? Event and its complementary event. What you have to remember? You have to remember only one formula. P of A bar plus P of A equals to 1. If P of A bar is given, you can find out P of A. If P of A is given, you can find out P of A bar. Right? So by doing this thing, we have covered the entire theory, almost entire theory of this chapter. Now let us quickly go to the exercise number 15.1. Okay students, so let us start doing exercise number 15.1. Now take your textbook with yourself and start doing the sum, right? Okay, so exercise number 15.1, the very first question in your textbook, what it is there? Complete the following statement. Complete the following statement. So total you are having 5 questions, and it is kind of fill in the blanks. Again, this kind of fill in the blanks can come in the examination for 1 marks. So all things we have already discussed. It will not be difficult for you. You'll be able to solve yourself all the answer if you have seen the video lecture number 1 and this video lecture properly, right? So let us start the first question. What it is there? Probability of an event E and probability of the event not E. Probability of the event E and the sum of, they are saying that sum of the probability of event E, the sum of probability of event E and probability of the event not E. So just now I explained not means complementary, and complementary event is represented by either E bar, either bar E or E dash, anything you can write. So sum of probability of any event and probability of any event not E is always going to be 1. P of E plus P of E bar is always going to be 1. So the first answer is going to be 1. Second, the probability of an event that cannot happen, the probability of the event that cannot happen is 0. Again, the probability of that event which cannot happen, it is called as impossible event. I told you in the very video lecture number 1, the probability that cannot happen is always 0, and what that is called as? That is called as impossible event. That is called as impossible event. Is it clear? Again, the probability of any event which cannot happen is always going to be 0, and that event is called as impossible event. Okay, so the answer of the first blank is 0, and answer of the second blank is impossible event. We have already discussed this thing. Third MCQ, third fill in the blanks. The probability of event that is certain to happen. The probability of the event that is certain to happen. Again, we have discussed the probability which is certain. Nobody, even God cannot change that thing. What is the probability of it? The probability of that thing is always going to be 1. And what that event is called as? Sure event, or sometimes you can also call it as a certain event. Certain event. Right? So the probability of any sure event is always going to be 1. So the first blank, the probability of an event that is certain to happen is 1. Such an event is called as sure event or certain event. Now fourth MCQ, fourth fill in the blanks. The sum of the probability of all the elementary event, the sum of the probabilities of all the elementary events of an experiment. This thing has been discussed in the video lecture number 1. The sum of the probabilities of all the elementary event. Yes, in the video lecture number 1, I explained you, if tossing a coin is there, it will include two things: getting a head and getting a tail. They are two complementary events of an experiment of tossing a coin. If you're tossing a coin, that is your experiment. What you can get? You can either get head, you can either get tail. What is the probability of head? We discuss 1 by 2. What is the probability of getting tail? 1 by 2. If you'll add up 1 by 2 and 1 by 2, what is the answer that you'll get? You'll get always equals to 1. So the probability of the sum of the probability of all the elementary event of a particular experiment is always going to be 1. Okay, last question of the fill in the blanks. The probability of an event is greater or equal to and less or equal to. See, probability of an event, that is also has been discussed in the video lecture number 1. The probability of any event A is greater or equal than 0, less or equal to 1. Probability of any event is either 0 or more than that. So probability of any event is greater, it is greater or equal than 0 and less or equal to 1. So probability of any event, we discussed the range in the video lecture number 1. What is the range of probability? 0 to 1. So what is the minimum value? 0. What is the maximum value? 1. So probability of any event can be 0 or more than that. Can be 1 or less than that. So that is all thing discussed. All thing has been discussed in the video lecture number 1. So I hope you have understood this entire fill in the blanks. Now let us quickly move to the question number 2. Now what is heading in the question? That which of the following experiments have equally likely outcomes? Now you are given 4 questions, I think 4, yes, 4 questions is given in your textbook, and they all 4 are experiment. Now experiment is there, so it will have an outcome. Now you have to answer yourself whether the experiments, whatever outcomes we are getting of a particular experiment, whatever outcome we are getting of a particular experiment will have equal probability or not. Equal probability or not. Now, suppose yesterday I explained you what is equiprobable event. What is equiprobable event? So, for any experiment, if outcomes are there and if all the outcomes are having the same answer as a probability, again I am explaining, if any experiments are there, that experiment will carry outcomes. If all the outcomes are having same answer as a probability, so we are saying that outcomes are equiprobable outcomes. For example, tossing a coin. When you toss up the coin, you will not able to judge that this will come or that will come. But yes, there are 50% chances of getting head and 50% chances of getting tail. You know, in the test match or in the cricket match, I would say, in the cricket match, why the thing is started from tossing a coin? Can you able to apply your brain? Why any match, any cricket match or any football match, it starts from a tossing a coin? Because umpire cannot say that this team will bat first or that team will ball first, right? So because tossing a coin will give fair chances to both the team of either to bat first or to ball first. Tossing a coin will give the fair chance to both the team. That's why any matches, any cricket matches or any football matches, they starts from tossing the coin up, right? It gives a fair. They are having equal chances to win for both the teams. Are you getting my point? So what is the equiprobable event or equiprobable outcomes? So for a particular experiment, outcomes are there. If all the outcomes are having same answer of probability, then those outcomes will be called as a equiprobable outcomes. Now they have given few experiment in a textbook and they are asking you to decide whether the outcomes of this experiment are equiprobable or not. So let us see. Okay, the very first question, a driver attempts to start a car. The car starts or does not start. Now here you are having a car. Suppose you are having a car and you know it, the condition is quite good of your car. So when you put up a key in your car, you know it, you are pretty much sure that car is going to start until and unless any abnormality is not there, right? You are having car, you regularly drives it, right? So what I am saying that if you put up a key in your car, you'll clearly say that yes, my car is going to start, right? Because my car's condition is quite good. So here, starting of a car and not starting of a car cannot be said as an equiprobable event. Why? Because if I am driving a car, the condition of the car is quite good. When I put the key in the car, it is going to be definitely start. So here uncertainty is not there. Are you getting my point? So when you put up a key, it will start or not. It will not have a fair idea. It will not have the equal chances. There are more chances are there to start the car. Why? Because the condition of the car is quite good. Because you drive it regularly. So the condition of the car is quite good. So there are 100% chance or more chances are there to start the car when I put a key in the car. So the answer is, the first event is no equiprobable outcomes. We will not get equiprobable outcomes, right? When you start your car by putting up a key. So first thing is clear. Second thing is there. What is the second question in your textbook? So let us see the second question. It is saying that a player attempts to shoot a basketball. She or he shoots or misses the shot. Now ball player is there. Now he's trying to put the ball in the basket. Now he hits or misses. Now suppose it depends on the quality of the player. Again, if I am a good player of basketball and if I have been provided 5 balls to put into the basket, if I am a good player, I can hit entire 5 ball in the basket because I am trained to it. Now suppose that ball is given to a player who is not knowing even a B of basketball. Suppose the ball is given to that player who is not even knowing the B of basketball. If I'll give 5 ball, he will miss all the 5 balls. Are you getting my point? So here, this question depends on quality of the player, right? It will not have fair chances. If a player is good, for that player, entire ball can be put by him in the basket. So again, no fair chances of missing or exactly putting the ball into the basket. If I'm giving that ball to the player who is not knowing anything of basketball, he will miss all the 5 balls because he is not trained for a basketball match. Are you getting my point? So for missing or by putting the ball into the basket, it depends on the quality of player and many more factor. So here this thing will not be called as a equiprobable outcomes. So second answer is also no equiprobable outcomes. Why? Because it depends on the quality of the player. So 2 questions has been done. Now third question, a trial is made to answer a true or false question. The answer is right or wrong. Yes. If I'm giving you a question, true or false, right? That the question is quite new for you. If I'll give you a question and I'll tell you the answer is only true or false. True or false. It can be true or it can be false. So 100% if you're not knowing the question and if you put true or false, there are 50% chances. There are 50% chance of getting the question right and getting the question wrong. Are you getting my point? If you're having a question, if you put true, it can be true also, it can be false also. So there are two options. There are two options, right? So like this, if a question is there, it can have true false answer. True false answer, that will be called as a universal event. True false, right? What is the probability of getting true? Probability of getting true, that is 1. And what is the total? 2. 1 by 2. 1 by 2. What is the probability of getting false answer? Again, how many false are there? 1. And what is the total answer? 2. 1 by 2. See, true and false are the outcomes of an experiment, right? So the probability of getting true answer is again half, and the probability of getting false answer is again half. So these two outcomes will be called as a equiprobable outcomes because the answer of both the probabilities are equal, right? So answer is going to be yes, both are equiprobable outcomes, right? So last question, fourth one, a baby is born, it is boy or girl. Yes, it's quite famous example. A baby is born, either it can be boy or girl. Now suppose any mother is pregnant, right? She can have either boy or girl. We cannot predict it until and unless we are not doing any prohibited test. Are you getting my point? So either she can give birth to a boy or she can give birth to a girl. Nobody can decide. So there are 50-50 chances. 50-50 chances of giving born to a boy and giving born to a girl, right? So again, the both event of being born a boy and being born a girl, both the outcomes will have equal answer. So yes, both are equiprobable events. So these 4 questions, I hope these 4 questions have given you a quite clear idea regarding what is equiprobable event and what is not equiprobable event, right? So we'll start question number 3. Okay, note it down, pause the video and note it down, then we'll start the question number 3. The question number 3 I have just now explained in between one of the explanation. Let's see what is question number 3. Why is tossing a coin considered to be fair way of deciding which team should get the ball at the beginning of a football game? So which team will kick the ball first is decided by tossing a coin. Why? Because tossing a coin will give you the fair idea to decide, right? It will give a 50% chances of winning to both the team. So it will be fair enough to tossing a coin and let whoever wins the toss, that team will decide whether to kick the ball first or to defend the ball first. So because tossing a coin is having equiprobable of winning or losing for both the team, and hence it is better to decide for the kicking the ball by tossing a coin. So that explanation you should write, right? What is the answer? Because tossing a coin gives equal probability of winning or losing to both the teams, right? Pause the video and write down this statement. Now, question number 4. Again, that thing have been discussed in the video lecture number 1. They are saying that which of the following answers are probability and which are not. So I told you the range of probability is from 0 to 1. 0 and 1 and between 0 to 1. Any probability which is less than 0 cannot be said to be probability. Any probability which is more than 1 cannot said to be a probability. Those probability which are either 0 and 1 and in between 0 to 1 can say to be a probability. Like 2 by 3, yes, numerator is smaller, denominator is bigger, so the answer is going to be 0 point something. So yes, it is a probability. Minus 1.5, it is not a probability because it is less than 0, so it is not a probability. 15%, see, 15%, don't give directly answer, 15 is more than 1, it is not like that. 15% convert into the normal value. 15% is nothing but 15 by 100. 15% is nothing but 15 by 100. So it is 0.15. 0.15. And yes, 0.15 lies between 0 to 1. And hence this is the answer of probability. 0.7, again it is in between 0 to 1. So yes, 0.7 is also answer of probability. So first one is yes, second one is no, third one is yes, and fourth one is yes. Now, the last question for this video lecture, that is, if P of E is given as 0.05, find the probability of not E. Not E is, again it is called as complementary event, and I told you P of E bar, that is probability of not E, is going to be 1 minus P of E. So 1 minus 0.05, so subtract 0.05, you'll get 590. So the answer is 0.95. The probability of the event not E is going to be 0.95. So what we discussed, kindly note down all these things in your notebook, in your fair notebook, in your school notebook. So till now, what we have discussed in the video lecture number 1, brief introduction. In this video lecture number 2, we have covered the exercise, that is one and only one exercise is given, and we have discussed question number 1 to question number 5. Kindly note it down, and the next part of this exercise will be solved in the video lecture number 3. Till then, do whatever you want to do, but please cover entire thing in your textbook. We'll meet in the next lecture. Till then, bye-bye and take care of yourself.